Naperville just announced the biggest redevelopment in the city's 150-year history. We're talking about 15,000 new paying jobs by 2045, and not only that, but we've got 5 major developments happening right now that are going to completely change what most people think Naperville is. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact projects turning this suburb into a tech hub and why home values are set up for some serious growth. These developments are breaking ground and the smart money is already moving. And if you're thinking about Naperville, timing matters more than ever. What's going on, you guys? I'm Brandon.blankenship, a Chicagoland realtor helping people just like you move in and around the Chicago suburbs. And I want to be your real estate resource of choice when the time comes. So reach out whenever. You'll find my email in the description or just hit the link to get in touch with me. But what if I told you that a single 40-acre project is about to become one of the biggest tax generators in Naperville? And the wild part is that it is happening right on the old Alcatel-Lucent site. And let me be totally clear with you about what is going on here. The Keller Critical Data Center, if the city approves it, would bring in 211,000 square feet of buildings right along the I-88 corridor. And when I say huge, I mean the kind of buildings that keep the digital backbone of big companies running every single day. Something most people don't realize about this project is how the yearly electric utility tax revenue alone would bring in somewhere between 1.87 and 3.06 million. That is money that goes straight into Naperville's budget every single year. But that isn't all. The yearly property tax revenue for School District 203 is right around $1 million. And now you might be asking yourself, that is great for the city budget, but what does this do for home values? And I have to tell you, this is where it gets exciting. This data center is not just some random tech project. It is giving new life to the old Alcatel-Lucent site, which has been sitting there for years, by turning it into a cutting-edge digital hub. And when you see the massive economic growth I am going to show you guys in a few minutes, you will realize this digital infrastructure is the backbone that makes it all possible. What's incredible is how this project builds on the I-88 corridor's reputation as a center for technology and research. And here's the part that hardly anyone is talking about. This project adds a 60-year history that started with Bell Labs. We are not starting fresh here. Naperville has been a tech hub since the 1960s. This data center is just the first layer in building onto that history, and now they are doubling down on it. But the data center is only the beginning. It is setting the stage for something even bigger. Let me show you the housing projects that are being built specifically for the workers around the area that this site will attract. If this kind of inside scoop on Naperville is helpful to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as I'm always uncovering projects in the Chicago suburbs that most people do not even know about. I personally know these suburbs inside and out, and I share this market knowledge every single week to help families and investors get ahead of the curve. In July 2025, Naperville gave the green light to 154 new homes, but here's the thing. It's not about how many homes are being built. It is about who these homes are meant for, and that tells the real story of where the market is heading. Let's start with the North Woods of Naperville. This is a 64-unit single-family townhome community being built on the old DeVry University site. What makes this project so interesting is how its potential for turning old institutional properties into brand new neighborhoods full of life. Now, what most people are not noticing is that with all these tech jobs coming to the area, where are those professionals going to live? And in just a few minutes, when I show you the new walkable community near the metro station, you will see how these different housing styles are being built for very different lifestyles. And honestly, this makes total sense when you step back and look at the bigger picture. And remember that data center I just told you about is going to bring in hundreds of skilled workers here, and the I-88 Innovation Corridor is attracting companies in biotech, quantum computing, and AG tech. What is so impressive about the DeVry site project is how it shows Naperville is thinking outside the box when it comes to development. Instead of leaving old properties sitting empty, they are turning them into communities filled with activity as well as new energy. And here's the part that makes this even more exciting. These neighborhoods are just the start. The transit-oriented community I am about to show you is going to completely change the character of Naperville. Almost 15 acres of prime city-owned land near the Naperville metro station are going to turn into something the city has never seen before. A walkable, mixed-use urban community designed for modern living. Back in June 2025, the Urban Land Institute Technical Assistance Panel came together to map out the development plan. This is not some dream that may or may not happen, but a detailed roadmap created by one of the most respected development groups in the country. The focus is on what city planners call missing middle housing and new community gathering spaces. So what does that really mean? Missing middle housing fills the gap between single-family homes and big apartment complexes. Think of townhouses, duplexes, and small apartment buildings buildings that bring density but still feel comfortable and welcoming. The location is the true game changer for this next project. It sits right next to the Naperville metro station, and for anyone commuting to Chicago, this is an incredible value. You can live in a walkable community, hop on the train to downtown, and still come back to all the perks of suburban and Naperville living. The final plan is expected in fall 2025, but even now, we already know this marks a huge shift. Naperville is moving toward urban-style amenities inside a suburban setting. This suburb has always been classic. Beautiful homes, top-rated schools, family-friendly neighborhoods, but what it has never had is a walkable, mixed-use community that appeals to younger professionals or people coming from the city of Chicago that want the true walkability in the suburbs. This development changes that completely. Imagine being able to walk to the train, walk to restaurants, and walk to shops. Combine that with the massive economic growth we will get into shortly, and this transit-based development puts Naperville in the perfect spot to attract young professionals, and they will get the best of both worlds: urban convenience and suburban quality of life, all while living in a city known for its schools and community amenities. And the vision for this walkable community connects directly with the infrastructure upgrades that they are tying everything together. Naperville is putting $3.67 million into a single gateway project. This Eagle Street Gateway project is part of the Riverwalk 2031 master plan. The completion is scheduled for September 2025, which means by the time you are watching this video, construction could already be wrapping up. So what does this project actually do? It improves accessibility and makes the experience even better for visitors at Naperville's iconic Riverwalk. You might be thinking, that sounds nice, but is it really necessary? This project directly supports tourism and hospitality goals. The Riverwalk is an economic engine that draws in visitors, supports local businesses, and strengthens Naperville's reputation as one of the best places to live in the whole country. What is really interesting about this investment is what it shows about Naperville's mindset. The city is not coasting on its reputation, it is actively putting money into the very amenities that made it stand out in the first place. When families and individuals are comparing suburbs, quality of life plays a massive role in their decision. The Naperville Riverwalk has been highlighted in national publications and is one of Naperville's signature attractions. This $3.67 million investment makes sure it stays world class. And now here's what most people do not realize. An investment like this may seem small compared to the giant projects we have already talked about, but it is the piece that makes the whole picture work. When cities invest in signature amenities, it shows confidence in their future. It attracts residents who want quality of life, and it helps support home values across the entire city. And this investment in infrastructure is only setting the stage for when Mayor Worley is calling the most important development in Naperville's entire history. In fact, Mayor Scott Worley calls this the largest and most significant redevelopment opportunity in our city's history. And when you see the numbers, you will understand why this changes everything. The AECOM strategy projects $2.6 billion in additional economic output by 2045. That number is not the total economic activity, but the extra economic output above what Naperville would have created without this strategy. We are talking about 15,000 new jobs in biotech, quantum computing, and AG Tech. And these are not just any jobs. These are the industries leading the next wave of economic growth. On top of that, there is $900 million in additional labor income expected to flow right into the local economy. That is money going into the pockets of Naperville residents. It supports local businesses, increases demand for housing, and creates a growth cycle that just keeps building on itself. But here's what makes this plan so smart. It builds on Naperville's strength, and 1/3 of residents over the age of 25 already hold advanced degrees. That is double the rate of the Chicago metro area. The skilled workforce is already here, and this is not Naperville trying to become something new. This is Naperville growing into what it has always been: a center for technology and innovation, going all the way back to the 60-year history began with Bell Labs, and now it is expanded into the next generation fields. The detailed economic plan was developed by AECOM for the Naperville Development Partnership. This is not wishful thinking. This is a roadmap designed by one of the top infrastructure consulting firms in the whole world. When you combine $2.6 billion in additional economic output, 15,000 paying jobs, and $900 million in additional labor income, the demand for homes goes up in a big way. The timing couldn't be more perfect. Naperville's property tax rate is around 3% lower while these major value drivers are being put in place. So there you have it. 5 developments that aren't just changing Naperville's skyline, they're rewriting its entire economic DNA. From tech infrastructure to new housing to walkable communities, This is suburban transformation done right. And look, if you're serious about getting in on Naperville before these developments send home values through the roof, don't wait. The data center is breaking ground, the housing approvals are done, and that innovation corridor strategy is already attracting companies coming to the area. All you gotta do is check the pinned comment down below and hit the link to get in contact with me to get started on your move. And hey, if all this talk about walkable communities and urban amenities in Naperville has you curious about other Chicago suburbs where you can ditch your car keys, you need to check out my next video up here. I'm ranking Chicago's most walkable suburbs, and what I found is gonna shock you. Click the link above and I will see you guys on the next video.